see my screen. Well, thank you for invitation for this workshop. Well, always my biggest weakness was speech, so it's an opportunity to work on that. It's always an opportunity. The contents of my presentation will be, at first, I will tell you my story of laboral life. I will tell you about exploration in Chile, where I spent and worked for 7 years, and about possibilities of looking for work in the industry and in consulting. And then on a bit about topics, I will mention just the topics, the trends, innovation, diversity and inclusion, and ESG. This, I think, will see presented very, very carefully. And the last topic will be statistic about women in mining. So my story. I'm Polish. I was graduated as economic geologist at the University of Science and Technology in Poland. I made an Erasmus in exchange in Milan. And straight after the university, I went for my first job to Chile. It was 2011. I didn't speak Spanish. I had two-way ticket to Chile. I mean, I could always go back in any time. My first months in Chile were about learning, where it was learning language, the new language, the new culture for me. I had a jet lag for a few weeks, I think. I had to learn how to work in different country. Because at first it was totally different. I'm geologist, and so it was totally different geology, the regional geology at my university. We didn't have Chilean geology, and different types of rocks, of deposits. I had to get used to work in the shifts and everyday travel to work, and I had to learn how the industry is, how the geologist is working in the industry. I mean, there is of course production exploration, but there are the sectors that are cooperate between each other. I mean, human resources, production, metallurgy, chemical laboratory, the supply chain, and so on. And after 1 year, I think, I started to figure out what I really like to do. And it was always exploration in the mining, more than production. And after 3-4 years, I started to develop my skills as a project manager too. And then I came back to Poland. And it was, yes, I came back to Poland, and it was very useful to find a work here. I mean, the skills that I learned abroad were very useful. I mean, languages and this what that you can understand another culture. And I started to search work in consulting, in industry, or even the academic possibilities. There are many possibilities to start work. And actually, I'm working for in the finance consulting in banking company, because finance world always inspires me since many years, and this is what gives me energy now. And I think it's quite related to the exploration world, when you have to be when you have to know what is going on in the market tendencies, how they cooperate, dependencies, I mean market dependencies. And actually I'm working as global network manager for the finance industry. And just want to say that career path is never a straight line, and changes are good, and it's always life is always giving different opportunities, and we have to use them, we have to adapt, and we have to learn new skills. And this is great. I think it's like a circle, as I draw here, that it's always going back to education, to soft skills, to learn from senior people, and to learn new things. Yes. Exploration in Chile, where I spent 7 years. Well, Chile is the biggest producer of copper in the world. It's 18 million people country in South America. They have huge deposits of lithium, zinc, molybdenum, gold, silver. And the industry is, well, possibilities for geologists there are divided into production or exploration usually. Not only, yes, you also have metallurgy, supply chain, procurement parts, and so on, but you can work in any of them dependent from your preferences. So my work was on shifts, like working 5 days and going back for 2 days home, or working 7 days and going back for 7 days home, or 8/6, 14/14. There are different shifts to work on these projects in the industry. The terms of project were very, very different. I mean, we had projects from 3 months or 12 months or 2 years or only 2 months. They were quite different. It's always about networking and knowing not only people, but knowing what is going on in the industry and searching for new opportunities. I was working a lot in terrain and also in the office, yes, but terrain work was with this typical geological tools that you have to use. It's a work in the mountains, like 3,000-5,000 meters above the sea level. So the conditions sometimes are difficult. Often, sometimes you get used to it, or you just choose the office work. Sometimes you can mix it, depend from your preferences or from stage of your life. In the office work was more about project management and also using the tools like AutoCAD, Vulkan, LeapFrog, Surpak, or analyzing the satellite data. These things are, it's very important to learn them. If you know one of those tools or many of them, for sure it's very helpful to find work. And well, later I became, after, as I said, 3 or 4 years, I became a project manager for exploration programs. And also I had to learn how to negotiate with the people, with agriculture regions, about legal aspects for opening the new exploration, new projects, yeah, to bring machines there, or even to send a helicopter to make some studies, some geophysical studies. We had also negotiations with native nations. I always try to participate in conferences to keep this networking and to try to find new possibilities to know people and to be on time with the market. Then I had a small team. Yes, also the transition of processes. I mean, there are many companies which cooperate with the mining industry. Like I was working for the government and doing the transition of the processes from the mining industry into the government. And it's also very important to keep your work-life balance during, especially I think, first years of your work, because it's it's about that you start to have passion for this. You want to be good. You start to like it. You want to grow, but still, I think it's very important to remember about your family, about your passions, and to find this balance between all of that. I know that it's in first years. It's very difficult, but then you start to figure out how to do this. And Chilean exploration is, at first I had to know, to get to know the regional geology and types of deposits, types of rocks, of alterations, dependencies between them. I mean, between porphyry deposits, vine types, skarn types of deposits. Get to know how to map the drill course, and what is the connection between the rocks, there. And this was very, very interesting part of the work of exploration in the country, which is like a paradise for geologists, I think. It's in the middle of the desert. The deposits are in the north part of Chile, and this is it's really in the middle of the desert. I mean, it's difficult for life, for this work-life balance, but still a great opportunity to learn, to grow. And I have many friends also who for whom this is the stable work since 15, 20, 30 years, and they are doing it very well. About where to search a work as a geologist and in the mining industry, I'm showing here only industry and consulting, but there are many in other sectors where to find a great work. It's in range of roles, like in the chemical laboratory, the academic career, the IT. It's very important to know programs, the supply chain. If people are good in statistics, in mathematics, it's also very, very helpful. It's always about what do you enjoy to do. Yes. And here on the left, I put the graphic from McKinsey. I think they put it in. They made this studies this year. And it's about why women are joining the mining industry. And the first reason you can see is the variety of work. Because mining industry, as I said before, is bringing a lot of possibilities, range of roles, yes, as I mentioned, and as Lucy also mentioned. And also the growth opportunity. So you can advance quite fast. Remuneration too. It's good paying job. Yes. Opportunity to travel. This I think is my case. It's the case with that. It's something that gave me the opportunity to travel. This education. Coincidence and new people in industry, or even if you live in the city, yeah, which is close to the mine, or your family is working for the mining industry, I think it's something that it's familiar for you. About consulting, well, consulting world is a big and beautiful world. There are three main companies, the big three or big four. Yes, it's McKinsey & Company, it's Bain & Company, and Boston Consulting Group. All three of them are here in Poland. You can even work online. There's Accenture too. I think it's about visiting the websites and to see what is for you at first. So what set of skills do you have and want to develop, in which direction you want to grow? And remember that it's always changing. I mean, you are changing, and maybe in 5 years more you want to grow in totally different direction, then it's okay. It's even better because changes are bringing the opportunities. And yeah, on the website of the companies, there's description of teams, of departments, of rough materials, of natural resources, metals, energy department, sustainability. There is also the description of the recruitment process, which is quite difficult, but very interesting. I think the best is to get, at first, to get an insider. I mean, there are recommendation programs for the company. If you know somebody from inside, he can explain you. I mean, from the department, this person explain you how the department works, and how the recruitment process works. Of course, you can find it also on the website, but it's always better if somebody from inside can tell you. You can even just ping the person on LinkedIn, the person that you don't know but want to ask. I think it's totally okay, and you have to be brave. Yeah. Yeah, to search in your potential department, as I said, what projects they do, to prepare what they are doing now, what is going on, and what stakeholders do they have. The recruitment process is about personal experience and about business case. So you have to practice a lot business cases and to fight with your weakness. I mean, like for me, it's about speaking, and it's good to grow and to make steps ahead to the front. Yes, and top mining companies. On the left, I put the mining companies globally, and on the right are the main companies in Europe. So the recruitment processes to the industry are a bit shorter, I think. All the information is on the website or even in LinkedIn. And it's also about networking. So it's good to know what projects are doing these companies, where they work, and just go. Yeah, it's good to go to the website, and it's also good to know in which direction you want to work. I mean, I was always in love with copper, gold, and silver, and this was my direction for many years. Now it's finance. Yes. It's important to be on a day with topics which are on the top. I think Lucy told us a lot about that. So I will just mention them. They are important because it's not only about your education, but also about your laboral interests. So if you can say a few words about something, if you can search the information about this, it's very important, especially during recruitment processes and later for you when you work, when you want where to work. And it helps to find the dream jobs. Yeah. So I'm just saying here about the innovations, autonomous operations, about cloud services, the digital transformation, market trends. I mean, the market dependencies, how the geopolitical changes are impacting to the mining industry. So it's all the information about prices, about changes of the prices. It's all connected. And environmental, social governance, sustainability, and to check news from the industry, like on mining.com or from your country to be with to see this news. Yes, and it's good to know about risks which are ongoing in the mining industry, like about the commodity prices risk, about the global trade war. If these topics are interesting for you, if you go deeper, diving deeper, then you will have the new opportunity. And which will be the key risk for mining and petals and in 2021? Here's why and case the source. So the main issue is environmental social governance, the problems with COVID-19, supply chain distribution. There are a lot of problems of materials, tensions. So the political side, the Chinese slowdown, resource nationalism, and these topics. And it's important also to remember about your soft skills. We are all technical people, and sometimes we forget about them. I mean, to learn how to communicate properly, how to solve the problems, and how to be a leader, how to create responsibility, integrity. You can make some courses about this, but I think it's also about this just observing and making some good things in your life. In the future, if you give, it always return. Yes. Statistic about women in business. Yes, business is growing and it's becoming more and more inclusive place for women. There are more and more women who are leading especially small and medium-sized business. And globally, women represent 38.8% of laboral force, but only 18% of them are managers and 8% of them are CEO. And here on the left, we can see that the biggest number of managers is in East Asia and Latin America. This is very interesting and it's so good. On the right, we have the statistic for Europe. So Latvia and Bulgaria have the biggest number of women in management. And how does it look like for women in mining? So in the mining sector, about 40% of entry-level roles are filled by women, but total number of women in industry represents only, well, between 8 and 17%, depending from the country. For Poland, it's around 10%. In copper, it's around 7% women, yes, in mining. And in New Zealand, it's 8.7%. In Chile, the number is bigger. I don't remember now, but it's around 25 or 30%. So it depends from the country. But what this statistic on the right shows, yes, that with time, women are, well, mining industry is losing women during the pipeline because of difficulties which are coming because of the difficulties with shift work, with maternity, that it's more and more difficult for women to grow. So I think it's a huge challenge for employers and for the companies, I mean, and also for us, for women, there's a lot to do from both sides to keep this, to make this number grow. And here I wrote that I just found this phrase somewhere on the internet, that being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are, why you are doing what you do, and how you can apply your vision to positively impact the world. She has achieved balance and perspective in all aspects of her life. On the right is the photo of me in 2011 when I started to work, and it was I had a lot of courage and self-confidence, but totally I had no idea about the work-life balance. And with time, I had to learn a lot about this, and it hurts. And I just want to say that you have to look into all aspects of the life and try to find this balance. Thank you for your time.